Welcome back to Rachel Be the Healthy We. Today we're going to be starting our holiday series with a pumpkin spice mulled apple cider. So you'll see some pictures inserted here. The first picture is what it looked like when I put everything inside the crock pot late last night. So that was 4 to 5 pounds of apples. That can be mixed or all one kind. I used apples from my garden. Then we had 8 cuties, or you would use 3 regular oranges. If you are going to leave the skins on, which you can, please make sure you're using organic product. I took my skins off because I had cuties and they were not organic. Then we went ahead and did 1.5 tablespoons of pumpkin spice. You can also change that if you just want to do cinnamon, nutmeg, things like that. Feel free to vary it. If you happen to have cinnamon sticks and whole nutmegs, you can also use things like that. Then we did 10 cups of filtered water. And then we went ahead and set it on low for 8 hours. The next picture is what it looked like this morning when I went ahead and opened it up after it had run all night. So let me open it up again for you here, and I'm going to show, you can use a masher because you just want to just, as I already did, just kind of mashing everything up here to get all the flavor out, because we're going to filter it into a lovely juice. Now at this point, you have noticed, I'm sure, that I haven't added sweetener. I don't like to add the sweetener until we get to this point, because depending upon how sweet all of your fruit is, it may be perfectly fine with no add. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a spoon. We're gonna take a little bit. I know it's gonna be a little chunky, but nonetheless. And that's pretty good. I don't think it's too tart. I think it tastes pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and wait till we filter it out. We'll have Justin try it, my husband, and if he wants, we'll go ahead and add a little bit. Has a nice flavor too. This is the other area where you could add additional cinnamon, pumpkin spice, anything if you want a stronger flavor. So once we have mashed that up nicely, I am going to pull this off the counter and get my filtering set up and show you how I'm going to filter it, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I have a fine mesh filtering basket here, and then I have a basket or a bowl here, and inside that I lined it with cheesecloth. Now you can put the cheesecloth over top of here. That's going to take a long time of meshing through. With this, you're going to allow the big chunks to stay up here, liquid to go through, and then you're going to do it a second time by pulling this up and squeezing it. So I'll go ahead and show you, and you can use a ladle, a cup, whatever you want, but my crock pot's really large, so quite frankly it's going to be too difficult to just pour it over it, so I'm just going to use a cup to transfer. And I'll show you the first portion of this, and then we'll show you the end result, because you don't want to sit here and watch me do all this, but I'll do a round with you guys. So as you can see, we already have a bunch going through. I think moving it around and then also using a spatula to kind of sieve through, just like you would when you're sieving a coulis or something like that. So let me go ahead and sieve through all of this, and once I've done that, I'll show you how I'm going to pull it up and use the cheesecloth. So this is about a little over half of what I had in my crock pot, and this is where we're at so far. So I did the first filtration like I showed you. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up my cheesecloth. And this is still warm, so that's the other thing I would recommend. Please let this come down to room temperature or a little bit cooler, because you are not going to want to be touching it when it first comes out. It is so warm. So basically now we're just squeezing to filter out that last little bit of pulp and so on that might have come through. And you can see how clear that is, and it just looks like, you know, cider that you would buy at the store actually. And in a minute I'm going to go ahead and put it inside a container that I'm going to store it in, so you can see what it looks like as I pour it out. Let me finish squeezing this, and then I'll show you that, and I'll show you what the discard in here looks like. Okay, so there's still a little bit more liquid, but since I still have more to go, we're gonna keep using this anyways, but I wanted to show you just how well it's filtering. You see how finite what it's taking out is. It's just It's very finite mush. But look at how much more we captured. It's a lot, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this off to the side. And then we're going to grab the container that I'm going to place in the fridge. And see how, let me try and pour it this way. Just looks like juice. So there we have it. My husband tried it. He said it tastes good to him, but if you were he said if we were taking this to a party, I would sweeten it. And again, we've talked about the fact that my husband and I have been off 90% of sugars for several years now, so we don't like things as sweet as most people do. But if you like it sweeter, please feel free at this point, or actually before we even transferred it, to add whatever kind of sweetener you want, whether that's stevia. I would actually recommend something that's a brown sweetener, alternative, and or actual coconut sugar or something like that, because the brown just lends to the flavors here. But there you have it. Honestly, it's super easy to chunk up the apples and make it happen. The longest part is the filtering. So all in all, a pretty easy thing to do, and you're getting quite a bit. Like I still have one other one, so I'm probably going to get 4 quarts, which is quite a bit. Definitely enough to make a party punch or have it around for the kids to warm up for a fun treat. So I hope you guys give this a try and keep hanging around with us so that we can show you some other fun holiday and even party recipes. Thanks for watching.